It's February 14th. Restaurants are packed. People are panic buying flowers that cost more today than any other day of the year. Couples are rushing around trying to make dinner reservations, find last minute gifts, and post the perfect "look how in love we are" Instagram story. And then there's you. You're at home. Maybe you're eating takeout, watching a show, scrolling your phone, or just relaxing. No roses, no chocolates, no pressure. Just another day. And you feel totally fine. Not lonely, not jealous, not annoyed, just genuinely unbothered. But society doesn't always get that. People might tease you, calling you unromantic, cold, or bitter. Someone might even assume that if you don't care about Valentine's Day, you must secretly be heartbroken or hate relationships. But here's the twist. Psychologists suggest that not caring about Valentine's Day, whether you ignore it, dislike it, or simply don't participate, often has nothing to do with hating love. In many cases, it's actually a sign of something positive, high autonomy and secure attachment. In other words, you prefer authentic love on your own terms, not because the calendar demands it.
Let's break down the psychology behind why so many people genuinely don't care about Valentine's Day. One major reason is something called psychological reactance, your brain's instinctive pushback against being told what to do. When society tells you today is the day you must be romantic, that pressure can make the whole idea feel forced or fake. It's not that you dislike romance, you just dislike mandatory romance. Reactance is the same thing that happens when you're told you have to clean your room and suddenly every cell in your body refuses. Humans naturally want freedom of choice, and when Valentine's Day becomes a giant cultural command, buy this, post that, prove your love in this specific way, it triggers that part of the brain that thinks, no thanks, I'll do things my own way. People with high autonomy often feel the most reactance. They don't want their affection to be scheduled or dictated by advertisers. They want the freedom to express love spontaneously, not because a holiday tells them to perform. And this has nothing to do with being unromantic. It's actually a sign that you want your relationships to feel genuine.
Another psychological factor is the difference between intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. Valentine's Day tends to encourage extrinsic gestures, the kind of actions we take because external forces tell us to. Buy candy, book a table, post a picture, show everyone you're in love. But many people prefer intrinsic motivation in relationships. They care about the connection itself, not the performance. They value the small things that happen naturally, the midweek check-ins, the random thinking of you texts, the inside jokes, the quiet bonding that never gets posted online. For them, real romance happens in the everyday moments, not the calendar-assigned ones. When someone doesn't care about Valentine's Day, it often means they prioritize authenticity over theatrics. They don't need a big production to feel connected. They don't need a special date to feel loved. They want the kind of closeness that doesn't depend on decorations or deadlines. This brings us to one of the biggest psychological predictors of Valentine's Day indifference, a secure attachment style. People with a secure attachment style tend to feel stable and confident in their relationships. They don't constantly need reassurance or proof of their partner's feelings. They trust the connection. They trust the everyday actions. They trust the emotional consistency. So for them, Valentine's Day doesn't carry the same weight. It's not a test. It's not a measure of commitment. It's not a moment where everything needs to be perfect. They don't need a romantic holiday to feel secure. They already feel secure. Meanwhile, people with anxious attachment often crave the holiday because it acts like a relationship report card. It's a clear, public sign that their partner cares. This is totally valid, and there's nothing wrong with loving Valentine's Day, but it does highlight a difference. People who skip the holiday usually aren't lacking love, they just don't need the holiday to confirm it. However, not caring about Valentine's Day can sometimes have a darker origin. If someone avoids the holiday because they want to punish their partner, or because they believe all love is doomed, or because they associate romance with pain, then that's not autonomy. That's a defense mechanism. If that's the case, it may be worth asking yourself, Am I skipping the holiday because I'm genuinely indifferent or because I'm scared of being vulnerable? The point is not to judge yourself, but to understand your own motivations with compassion. Emotional awareness is always the first step toward healing. But for most people who shrug at Valentine's Day, skipping it isn't a sign of fear. It's a sign of emotional clarity. It means you don't want love to be a performance. You want it to be a connection. And maybe the solution isn't to avoid the day entirely. Maybe the solution is to reclaim it. If you don't care about Valentine's Day, turn February 14th into something better. Autonomy Day. A day where you celebrate choosing what you want, not what you're supposed to want. Instead of buying overpriced roses, cook a ridiculous meal with your partner and laugh about it. Instead of going out to a crowded restaurant, stay in and watch a movie you both love. Instead of participating in tradition, create your own anti-tradition. And if you're single, make it a day of self-care, rest, or indulgence on your terms. The point isn't to be anti-romance. The point is to be pro-freedom. So here's the takeaway. If you don't care about Valentine's Day, you're not a Scrooge. You're not cold. You're not missing out. You just prefer your love, whether it's for yourself or someone else, to be real, unscheduled, and aligned with who you are. You want connection, not performance. You want spontaneity, not obligation. You want affection that feels genuine, not advertised. And honestly, that's something to be proud of. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think Valentine's Day is a scam, or do you secretly love it? Let me know in the comments below.